guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Esther. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice pattern. Please ensure to like, leave a comment, share, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to leave your notification bell turned on so you can always get notified whenever I upload new videos. So if this tutorial is one which you're interested in learning, please join me while we do this. Okay guys, for this pattern drafting tutorial, we're going to be working with a pattern paper, a marker, a ruler, and a measurement tape. So we're going to start by drawing a straight line. Take note that we are drafting the front pattern, the basic bodice front pattern. We're going to do that first before the back. So we're going to draw a straight line. That straight line is going to represent our shoulder line, which is our starting point. Then from that shoulder line, we're going to take a measurement for shoulder to bust, which I'm working with 10 inches. And from there, you draw a straight line. Also go ahead and take the measurement for your under bust, and I'm working with 12.5 inches. Then also go ahead to take a measurement from shoulder to waist, which I'm working with 16 inches. So after doing that, you draw a straight line to indicate these different points. Then the last part I'll be taking is the full length measurement. That is the full length for the top or the blouse. Now I'm working with 24 inches. Yeah, 24 inches. So I'm going to be taking my measurement from the shoulder to 24 inches. I'm going to draw a straight line for that as well. Okay, after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to label them: the shoulder line, the bust line or the bust point, the under bust point, and then the waistline, and also the full length. Okay, at this point we are going back to our shoulder line and we're going to be taking our shoulder measurement. I'm working with 14 inches, but when you want to use your shoulder measurement, you're meant to divide it by 2, which is 7, and at this point I'm marking 7 inches points there. So to get my neckline, I'm going with 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. This is just a normal neckline. With this you can use to draw any kind of neckline you want, but this is a normal neckline, 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. So I'm going to connect the 2 points with my curve, just like I'm doing right now, and that's going to give me the neckline for this pattern. So I'm going to go back to my shoulder point to draft my shoulder slope. I'm going to come down by 1 inch and connect this point together. The reason why this shoulder slope is done this way is because your shoulder is not actually straight, it has a slant shape, and for you to get that shape, we are going to have to come down by 1 inch and connect them together. Okay, so at this point I'm taking the armhole measurement, and to get that I'm dividing the bust measurement by 6 and adding 1.5. I have 7 inches after doing that, and from my shoulder slope down to the 7 inches point I'm going to draw a straight line. That line becomes my chest line. So at this point I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Bust measurement divided by 4, I'm going to put that point on my chest line point, just like I'm doing right now. My bust measurement divided by 4 is 8.25. I'm going to be taking that measurement on the chest line like I'm doing now. So coming down to my shoulder slope, I'm going to draw a straight line down to the 7 inches points that I measured before. I'm going to draw a straight line from the slope down to it, and after doing that I'm going to take the midpoint of this line. I'm going to take the midpoint just like I'm doing right now and put a point there. After doing that, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch and then connect this point with my armhole curve. Connect from the shoulder slope down to the bust measurements that I've measured earlier. I'm going to connect them together with the 1/2 inch from the midpoint as well to get my armhole curve. Okay, so at this point we're going to be taking our dart. For you to take your dart measurement, you're going to divide your bust span by 2. That is your nipple to nipple point by 2, and that's 7 divided by 2, 3.5. So I'm going to be marking that 3.5 from my waistline on the bust point, and then the full length, and then I'm going to connect them together with a straight line. Okay, right now I'm going to come to my waist measurement and take half inches on both sides, and then coming down to my full length I'm going to come up by 2 inches, and then from that 2 inches point I'm going to connect it to the waist. That is the half an inch from the waist sides, just like I'm doing right now. I'm going to connect both sides together like this, and I'm going to do the same thing from the bust point to the waistline, just like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my body measurements. I'm going to go with the waist measurement divided by 4. I'm going to mark the point there, and then I'm going to come down to the dart and take the measurement of the dart, and then I'm going to add it there. My dart measurement is 1 inch, and I'm going to add it there too. So I'm going to come down to my full length and take the hip measurement divided by 4. Hip measurement divided by 4. I'm going to mark that point there, and then I'm going to connect the whole points together, starting from the chest line, that is my bust measurement, to the waist measurement and to the hip measurement at the full length. So I'm going to connect them together like I'm doing right now. Okay, at this point I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the pattern because I'm actually done with it. But while I was cutting, I realized that I have not taken out my bust dart, which is very important. Okay, to get my bust dart measurement, I'm going to be taking away the shoulder to waist length of my back from that of my front because they are not always equal. The front is 16 inches and then the back is 14.5. I'm going to subtract 14.5 from 16, which is giving me 1.5. So I'm going to come to my bust point actually, and come down by 1.5, then connect the lines to my bust line. So at this point I'm done with my pattern drafting for the front pattern. This bust dart is actually helpful because it helps you to maintain the same length. If you don't do this, you end up having your front longer than your back, and you don't want that. So it is always necessary that you take your butt dart to ensure that after cutting it, you close the butt dart, and then at the end of everything you're going to be having the same for both the back and the front. So now we're going to be drafting the back pattern, and we're basically going to be doing the same thing we did in the front pattern, but just with little difference. So we're going to start by drawing our straight line, which is going to be our shoulder line, and then take the length of our shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, and we're going to draw a straight line at the various points. So for the shoulder to waist of my back, I'll be using 14.5 inches, and that's because shoulder to waist at the back is not the same with the shoulder to waist at the front. For the front I use 16 inches, but for the back I'm using 14.5 inches because that's the measurement. So after that I'm going to go ahead and label them: the bust line, the waistline, and then for me to get my full length measurement, I'm going to go and take my front pattern and take the measurement from my waist to the hip line, the waist to the full length, that is the hip line. I'm going to take that measurement and I'm going to use it on my back pattern. What I have there is 8 inches, so I'm going to mark 8 inches straight down. Okay, the reason why this is done is because the back and the front are not the same length. So for me to get the correct length, I have to take the measurement from the front and add it up so that they can be equal after you've cut them. So after doing this, I'm going to draw a straight line to indicate my full length measurements there, and I'm going to label it. So after that, I'm going back to my shoulder line just like I did from the front pattern. My shoulder is 7 inches, and from there I'm going to come in by 3 inches for my neck width. So then I'll use 1.5 inches below for the neck depth. So for the front pattern I use 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. For this back pattern the neck depth is 1.5 inches. So after making that point, I'm going to use my cuff to connect the 2 points together to form my neck. So after that I'm going to go and create my shoulder slope. So I'm going to come down by 1 inches from the shoulder point and then connect the line together to the neck to the neck width, and then I'm going to get my shoulder slope. So I'm going to come down by 7 inches, which is my armhole depth, where I got bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, just like we did from the front pattern. So from that line, I'm going to draw a straight line. So after drawing the straight line, I'm going to take the midpoint of that line. I'm going to take the midpoint just like I'm doing, and after taking the point, I'm going to come in by half an inch. So to connect my armhole, I need to take my bust measurement divided by 4 on my chest line, and after marking that, I'm going to connect these 3 points rather, together, just like I'm doing right now. So after that, I have already gotten my armhole, and then I'm going to go in to take my dart measurements, which is my bust span divided by 2, which is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'm going to take that 3.5 inches from my chest line to my waistline and my full length. Please take note, from your front pattern, we started taking our dart from the bust line down to the full length. But in the back pattern, we are going to start from the chest line to the full length. So please take note of that. So we're going to come for the full length 2 inches above it, and that is where we're going to start connecting our dart. So from the waistline, we're going to take half inches on both sides. Please always remember that dart intake is from your waist. You always take your dart from your waist. So you're going to connect that to your chest point. You're going to connect it from your waist, and also connect it to the 2 inches point you've taken above your full length. So at this point, we're going to start taking or marking our body measurements. We're going to go to the waist and mark waist measurement divided by 4. And after marking that point, we're going to take the measurement of the dart, which is 1 inches, and add it there as well. And for the full length, the hip measurement divided by 4, we're going to take that as well. Then after taking the measurement, you are going to connect each point together. Yes, we're going to connect each point together, just like I am doing here. So after this, we have actually drafted our back pattern, and we are now going to go ahead and cut the pattern out. Okay, I'm bringing the two patterns together. You can see them well. I'm going to go ahead and label them front and the back. So please do not forget that the front pattern has the bust dart, and you're meant to take off that bust dart, because that is actually what is going to help the two have the same measurement. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you find this tutorial helpful, please do not forget to like, comment and share. Also remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.